くよろしくお願いします。
For me, laughter was never just about joy. It was survival. In a world built to divide and break us, my family used humor as our secret weapon. My mother, Patricia, was a master at finding light in the darkest moments. When we were hungry, she'd turn it into a game. When we were scared, she'd make us laugh until the fear faded. Humor was how we stayed human, how we fought back without violence. Laughter was my inheritance, my passport, my shield. It let me cross invisible borders, make friends, and avoid fights in a world obsessed with skin color. On stage, my comedy comes from that place. A childhood where laughter was a necessity, not a luxury. My mother's legacy is in every joke I tell. Laughter helped me process pain, connect with others, and challenge a ridiculous system by showing its absurdity. It's how I survived being born a crime. And it's how I learned to turn pain into something we can all share, and maybe heal. I was born in apartheid South Africa, where your race decided your fate. My father was white, my mother black. Their love was illegal, and I was the evidence. We lived as a secret, always hiding, always performing. My mother pretended to be my maid in public, my father walked on the other side of the street. If we were seen together, my family could be torn apart. Love was dangerous, and my existence was a daily act of defiance. I learned early that the world's rules were both powerful and absurd. Our family's survival depended on breaking itself apart just to stay together. I grew up questioning everything. Why these rules? Who made them? My childhood was spent hiding in plain sight, always aware that my very being was a problem for those in power. These experiences shaped my view of the world. They taught me to see the cracks in the system, and they planted the seeds of my comedy. I never fit into any box, too black for whites, too white for blacks. In school, kids grouped by race and language, and I was always in the middle. I became a chameleon, learning to adapt, code switch, and observe. I was an outsider everywhere, but that gave me a unique perspective. I learned to see the world through many lenses to find the connections others missed. My identity was a daily puzzle, but it became my superpower. I could belong to every group, just a little. That outsider's view is what I bring to my comedy. I use it to highlight the absurdity of our divisions, and to find humor in our shared humanity. Soweto was tough. Poverty, danger, and resilience lived side by side. My mother was relentless, determined to show me a world beyond the township. She broke barriers, took me places we weren't supposed to go, and taught me not to accept limits. In Soweto, hustling was survival. I started small businesses, selling snacks, pirated CDs, learning about risk, negotiation, and reading people. The township's informal economy was my real education. It taught me to spot opportunity, to hustle, and to hope. Soweto forged my work ethic and belief in creating my own path. The lessons of those dusty streets, resilience, resourcefulness, and hope, are with me always. Even in the hardest places, there's a way forward if you look for it. That's the spirit I carry everywhere. My mother's greatest gift was language. She made sure I spoke English, Xhosa, Zulu, Sotho, Tswana, even some Afrikaans. She knew language was power, a bridge in a divided world. Speaking to someone in their own language goes to their heart. It got me out of trouble, turned enemies into friends, and opened doors everywhere. Beyond words, she gave me faith and a questioning mind. Church 3 times every Sunday taught me purpose, but she insisted I think for myself. Don't just accept what you're told, she'd say. Understand it, decide for yourself. She taught me to see my mixed heritage as a gift, not a curse. Her advice was simple. You are not a victim, you can be a hero. She celebrated my uniqueness in a world demanding conformity. Her words were my armor. They gave me courage to face the world, and they shaped the man and comedian I became. Hustling in Alexandra, selling CDs, DJing, taught me how to read people and connect. I never saw myself as a performer, I just wanted to get by. Then one night at a comedy club, my cousin pushed me on stage. I was terrified, but I started talking about my life. Being mixed race, my mother, the absurdities of South Africa. People laughed. Suddenly my pain became connection. I realized my outsider's perspective was my strength. I could bridge worlds with my story. That night changed everything. I started doing comedy telling my story and people listened. My career grew, but I dreamed bigger. America, the home of stand-up. Leaving success behind was risky, but my mother taught me to dream big. I moved to the US, ready for the next chapter. The stage became my new hustle, and my story, my greatest asset. Becoming host of The Daily Show was daunting, an outsider in America, following a legend. People doubted me, but I knew I had to be myself. My global perspective let me connect American issues to universal themes: power, inequality, identity. Slowly people saw what I brought: context, connection, and a new lens. Then tragedy struck. My stepfather shot my mother. Miraculously, she survived. Her resilience reminded me why I tell stories: to overcome trauma, to find strength in darkness. My comedy became more than entertainment, it was about survival and hope. My book, Born a Crime, resonated because it was real, a story of family, identity, and overcoming. I see myself as a bridge builder, using humor to connect across divides. My life began as a crime, but my voice became my power. I hope to inspire others to find their own voice, to turn struggle into strength. We need fewer walls, more bridges. That's the legacy I want to leave.
Subscribe now